Okay everyone, this was the homework you'll set, basically to use Boolean simplification to work through these problems. Right, let's have a look at the first one. My plan is to try and whiz through them all and hopefully you will get the idea of it. So first things first, we're going to factorise this. We are going to take b out. But what we're going to do is we're going to pretend this is and 1, because anything and 1 is anything, so we can put the actual term in there. So therefore we can go a or 1 inside with b outside the brackets. And we know that anything or 1 is 1, so it's b and 1, so the whole shebang is b. Okay, question 2, so let's, for want of a better word, multiply out the brackets. C and A, or C and not C. C and not C is an identity, that's 0. So we're just left with C and A. Can't get any simpler than that. Job done. Okay, we've got question 3, a little bit bigger. Oh, what have we got? Looks like we've got a not C in every single term, so why don't we take that out? So we've got a not C, and what have we got in the brackets? AB or A or not A, D or not A, not D. I'll make that to be alright. Oh, what have we got? Oh, we've got an identity there, A or AB. So I know that is actually shortens to A. And then we've got something over here. Let's do it carefully. So let's use this, and we're going to say that goes straight to A. Okay, and we know that because we did it earlier. Okay, although it was B rather than A, but it's the same difference. And that's actually quite a useful one to know. You could do it the long-winded way, but that one will work. And then I think I'm going to be naughty and do 2 steps at a time. And I think I'm going to whip out not A here and chuck it inside the brackets for this little lot. Need to be careful, it doesn't look like a not, that, and that looks like it's D or not D. I need to make sure I put an or in there because it's still there. Right, let's, so what are we left with? We're left with C, not C, sorry, A or, and then not A and D or not D. D or not D is 1. Let's just do that. And that leaves that to be A or not A, which is also 1. So the whole shebang is just not C. Okay, A and B and not B or C, or B and C. Okay, let's think. Where should we start? That is B, because it's B or B and something, so we know that's just B. Anything I can do there? No, I think we're going to have to multiply this out. So let's rewrite it. A and B and not B or C or B. Right then, I'm actually going to multiply it out just because I think it would be nice for you to see it, but the astute amongst you will have noticed we've got B or something and B. So I wonder what this is going to end up as. This is going to be A and B and not B, or A and B and C, or B which way round do I do it? Okay, B and not B is 0, so that's, oh hello, A and 0, which we know is going to be 0, or we can't do anything about that, A, B, C or B, so we're just left with A and B and C or B. Well, anything and B or B ends up being B. Ooh, where to start with this one? Question 5. Again, just using my eye, I find it highly suspicious that I've got or A and both other terms, so there's 3 terms, B and A and not C, and A and not A or B. So I can see that there is an or A and both of the terms have got and A built into them. Doesn't mean it's definitely going to be that, but just it's curious. So let's see where this goes, shall we? Possibility that not C is going to cause us a problem, but let's have a little look. I think we've got to multiply out the I could definitely get rid of that one. No, let's do it properly. Let's just do it properly. So B, I shouldn't say multiply out. Should expand A, B, A or B not C, or the original A, or A not A, or A, B. Hopefully you can see that that gets from there, that is there, and that is from there. Hopefully you can see that. Right, where are we going to go with this then? Joe, have we got a B in every term? We don't, but I've got 3 terms with B's in it. Have I got an A in every term? No, but I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 terms with A's in it. I've only got 1 not C anywhere. Right, let's absorb A. So let's go, so I'm actually going to go this one, this one, this one, and this one, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, in want of a better word, factorise A. So put and 1 there, so we remember to put a 1 in. So that is A, and go B, or this one, which is 1, or not A. Oh, do you know what? I could have got rid of that A or not A, couldn't I? And not A. Yeah, but I'm going to do that. I'm an idiot. I didn't spot that. So that's really annoying. Should have spotted that straight away. A and not A is, yep, you all know, it is 0. So that could just completely disappear. So we ought to rewrite it. B, A, or B, not C, or A, B. And you know what? That even makes that clearer there, doesn't it? Look at that. We know that's straight away going to be A because that's one of the identities that we looked at earlier. So let's chuck that into an A there, or B, not C, or B, A. Let's just rearrange, or B, A, which of course could be A, B. And we can see that we've got that equal to A as well. So we've got B, not C, or A. I knew that not C might cause us a problem. And that is as simple as it gets, I think. So that's our final one. Yep, I'm happy with that. Question 6. Looks like we've got a B in every term. We haven't got anything else that looks right, so let's chuck that out. B, bosh, that's A, not C, or C, or B, not C, or A, not B. Just double check I've got that right. A, not C, C. I've just taken the bit. I'm an idiot. Didn't feel right. Not A, not C, or A, and that's a not B. So 2 mistakes. It is work. I mean, it's easy enough to do. So make sure you check as well. Anything else we can do inside here now? A, C, not C. Tick, 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 tick. Okay, so there's nothing screaming at us. So why don't we just deal with green for now and then work our way through it. Oh, actually, we could take not C out of these two. Let's do that. These two. So let's do that now. So that's not C, then it's going to be A or not A, which of course is 1. So in other words, we can simplify those two just to be not C, which is nice. So that would, if we put that all together, and I'll try and keep the original one in, for the moment that would be B, and then we would be left with not C, or C, or A, B. Give me 1 second. That will be not B actually, not. So I think we're now down to that. Oh, it's quite handy, isn't it? So we've got C or not C here, like that, which we know is going to be 1. Can't do anything else with this. So it's going to be B, don't know why I've gone to red, or 1 or A, not B. 1 or anything is 1. So this whole thing simplifies to B. That's rather pleasing. Right, on to question 7. What have we got here? Few terms with A's, quite a few terms with B's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, there's B in every term. Well, that's an easy way to start, isn't it? B, right, A, C, or C, D, or C, not D, or A, not C, or not A, not C. Good out. Oh, this just feels like it's going to be B again, doesn't it? Let's see where we go. I think there's a few ways I could do this, but my feeling is I fancy taking the C's out of here and the not C's here. Yeah, let's do that. So for the C's, we're going to go C, A, or D, or not D. And I said not C here, didn't I? So that means we've got not C, A, or not A. The whole thing is still got a B at the front of it, mustn't forget that. It's easily done. Right, let's have a little look. Oh, I should have done it in blue, really, never mind. Well, that's a 1 in it, so that's easy. And, oh, that's a 1 as well. So we end up with B, C and 1, or not. That's not 1. C and 1, or not C and 1. Well, the and 1's magically disappear. And as it's C or not C, that's also 1. So the whole shebang is just B again. Okay, let's have a little look what we got. Looks like we've got a D in every single term, so that's the obvious place to start. So chuck D out, bosh, in the brackets A, B, C, or A, B, or A, not B, or I've made this too big, A, not B, C, where are we? A, not BC, or a C, or not a C, joy. Make sure it's clear that's not a. There we go. And close the brackets, because we should do. Right, what can we do inside? Take quite a lot of A's out. Take a few B's out. Is there anything we can just kill straight away? I think I am going to take out, I quite like the look of that. There is another C over here, but hopefully you can see that I've got this A not A. So let's just quickly nip that out. C, A or not A. So we know that's 1, so we know this whole thing just degenerates into C. Then I also notice that here I've got A and not B in both, and I've got a couple of ABs there. No, I want to leave that for a second. I've got A's 1, 2, 3, 4, so I think I'm going to nip A out at this stage. So let's go A, B, C, or B, or not B, or not B. Mustn't forget the or there. We also really mustn't forget that we've got an and D on the outside. Okay, well, I'm sure you've spotted this before I have. I've got a B or not B there, so that's a 1. Anything or 1 is 1. So this whole thing collapses to just A. So that's easy. So it's still got a D on the outside. I think that's as simple as it goes. We can't make it any simpler, can we? So you can either write it as D, A or C, or just D, A or D, C. I think either or would be fine. Doesn't really make a difference, does it? Yeah. Okay. Oh, I'm evil. I've given you a right horrible one here. But let's go through it. Do you know what? If you've managed to get this, you've done really, really, really well. So, where do we start? I'm going to start by doing that little trick that I said earlier. I'm going to say x equals A or B. I'm going to say that y equals A and not B. So in other words, that is that and that is that. Yep. So I'm going to rewrite this. I'm going to write it in blue. So I've got not x, and not y, which is now this whole thing, and it's or B there. Okay, not A and B. So let's De Morgan this bit, and that will equal x or y, or not A, B. Right, now let's stick the x and y back in. So A, not B, or A and not B, or not A, B. Right, is that going to fall out nicely? Of course it's not. Something feels wrong there. It is. I've not A, B, and B. Oh no, it's right. That's right. Yes, that's right. So nothing's identical, but we've got a bit of a pain here. So I've got not B or A and not B. Okay, well that's an identity, isn't it? Because if it was, I've got something or something and something else, so that something and something else should just disappear. So in other words, that whole thing here should just be not B, shouldn't it? So in other words, I've got A or not B, or not A and B. Right, now we're getting serious. We've got it pretty simple pretty quickly actually. If you got to this stage, I'm happy. Yes, this is an identity here, but you probably don't know it. And I could actually have done it either way, but let's look at this one. Okay, A or not A and B. It's actually going to come out as A or B, but let's show you why. Right, we're going to have to add in a redundant term to show you. So I'm just going to do this in blue again. So this is exactly the same as saying A and 1 or not A and B, isn't it? Because of course A and 1 is, in fact we're basically going to go backwards to an identity you've seen before. So I'll show you that in a second. 1 is exactly the same as B or 1, isn't it? So we've got A and B or 1 or not A and B. We mustn't forget this not B that's still sitting over here untouched. So let's just leave that for a second. Hopefully you've followed that a little bit. So now I could expand that, and that would be A, B, or not A, B, and we've still got or not B over here. Whoops, got the next thing just below. Right, so do you remember that A or A and B ends up being A? So we've just gone backwards on that little simplification. So we've basically made it more complex. Why on earth have you done that, Joe, I hear you ask? Because now I can combine this and this together. Look, I've got two B's, so I can now go B, take the B's out, A or not A, which of course just reverts to B, and that is or the A that's here, and we've got or that should be a not B, or we've got still the not B over here. So I've now got A or B or not B. Oh, just a second. Let's rewrite that. A or B or not B. B or not B, that equals 1. So you're probably feeling really, really happy with yourselves now that you've gone through all this pain just to find out the whole pigging thing just equals 1. Great. Could I ask that you double check that you understand why A or not A and B equals A or B? I suggest you work your way through this little bit I did over here, and doing a truth table wouldn't be a bad idea either, just to prove to yourself that that is actually an identity. You don't not expect to memorize all of these, but I'm hoping that you all spotted that this bit here does simplify to A, so therefore I could unsimplify it, make it more complex to get from A to that. Anyway, the answer's 1. I hope you enjoyed that. Tricky. Doozy to finish with. Where to go with this? Well, I'm just going to do this to start with and stick it out to one side, and then we'll kind of forget about it till the end. So let's just demorgan it. So it's not C NAND D, so that means it's going to be C or not D. Everyone happy that's De Morgan with that? So we're just going to stick that to one side and then just forget about it. C or not D. Right. We're now going to focus on this main block here, and then we'll just remember to stick this back in at the end. Okay, I think we better go from the top down, and I think that means we've got all of this stuff here, NAND D. So if I just picked A, C, B, and that's not B, not C, that, and all the way over there like that, that is effectively this block here, isn't it? And it's that NAND D. So let's get rid of the, whoops daisy, let's get rid of the, let's make sure I get this right, that one and that one and that one. I'm just going to make that equal to X, just so I can have a little bit of clarity. So I've got X and D, and then or this bit which we said we're forgetting. And it's actually not X, isn't it? Because look, there's a NAND over the whole. If I'm making A, C, B equal to X, A, C, B, and it's actually not X because there's a NAND over it. So, or not over it. So let's just De Morgan that. So that would be X or not D, wouldn't it? So what we're going to do is we're going to sub that back in. So that's A, not C, not B. I need that to be A, it should be not B as well, shouldn't it? Sorry, this is the biggest nightmare, making sure you transpose everything correctly. And we got rid of that not there because that was that. Yes, I think we're right. Right, let's quickly do the De Morgan on the A at NAND not C. So that's A, not A or C, isn't it? And that's in brackets with the not B or not D, and we mustn't forget this over at the end of it. So I can get rid of this now because I don't need that. Actually, well, I'll leave that back in, I think, just because I've left the X in there. So when we look at it at the end, we can remember where we got that from. Let's multiply out. Let's expand that. Not D. Do you know what? I'm going to stick this back in. C or not D at the end, because we're now in a sort of sensible state. Well, I've got D or not D, so I've got not D or not D, so I can just get rid of one of those not D's. So I'm going to do that. Because obviously not D or not D equals not D, so we'll just get rid of that. Where are we? I feel like we're close. I've made a transposition error. There's a not C there and I've turned it into a C. Or was that the De Morgan? Boom, that was the De Morgan. Ignore me. That's why it's useful to write down what you're doing at each step. I don't always do it. So let's have a little look. I've got two C's there. I've got two not B's there. I don't really want to take that not B out again. Let's just rearrange it, shall we? So I've got not A, not B, and then we'll have not B, C or not D. Oh look, C or C and something. We know that not B and C is going to disappear, don't we? So I think we're left with not A, not B or C or not D? Let me just have a little look. Yep, that is the final thing. I can't simplify that any further because none of those terms have got anything overlapping at all. So that is the final answer. From that beast to that in just a few simple steps. If you got that, really well done.